Hello, my name is Joseph Carlson. This is a Tabletop Experiment, episode 37, Dragonlance Part 28. I'm here with Christian. We are going to do a character background exercise. This is a book I picked up from Cubicle 7. It's called A Life Well Lived. You can pick it up on DriveThruRPG. This is not sponsored. I just saw this on my feed. I just want to give a bunch of shout-outs. I've been watching the Glass Cannon Network on YouTube. They do a lot of cool role-playing stuff. There's a lot of talented people out there. And I think part of Gen Con, which is the big gaming convention that happens in Indianapolis every year, they did a stream where they showed off this book, A Life Well Lived by Cubicle 7. Again, we're not sponsored by Cubicle 7. I just really like this book. I watched a live stream with Glass Cannon and I picked it up. We've already done this with two of the players, Jesse and Todd. But I filmed it, but what happened was I showed a lot of the book, and I figured that, Cubicle 7 may want to sell some copies and may not want me to show the whole book off while I'm previewing this. But I still want to do this with Swami. I want this to be a good character background exercise because, Swami, you've only told me maybe 2 or 3 sentences about your character's background. But this starts from childhood, goes to adolescence, and then really focuses on your skills and random events that you can tie together with the other players. So this will help you through a series of die rolls figure out who Swami is. I don't know why I just called you Swami. Christian, this will help you decide who Swami is. I think it's because it's your online handle, so I always call you Swami. But this will help you kind of laser focus who Swami is. And on the Glass Cannon Network, when they were doing this as a group, there was a lot of synergy. Now, I know you and I are alone, but I can talk to you about what Jesse and Todd did with their characters. But also, these people make money professionally doing this. And one of the people said when they were making their character, they said on the stream, it's a VOD, but he said, I like this because this would take me so long through role-playing to figure this out. But day one, I know who this character is. I can write all this out. I know his childhood. I know his skills. I know a crazy event that happened when he was an adult. It all just helps me laser focus who he is as a character. So like I told Jesse and Todd, you have had your character for several levels. You've told me a little bit of background, but it's been kind of sparse. And I think for, it being a module that we're running, I have to kind of cram things in. And it's kind of hard to balance that. But if you do this and tell me exactly who your character is, I can focus in on the story. And also, as part of this book, it's not just about backgrounds. They have downtime activities. So if you're at a campground or a campsite and you set up watch and you talk to the other party members, there's rules in here on how to get bonuses for after that. If you get into battle, it's this is my... this is my compadre. This is my friend. I've known this person. We bonded over the fire. We talked about how terrible our parents were. I get a D4 to add to my attack rolls. Or the DM has to take D4 away from their attack rolls because maybe you block an incoming attack. Or you tell your ally something in the heat of the battle and it helps them make a saving throw. Something like that. Because now you guys are bonded. It also has rules for crafting. Hey, I'm an alchemist. I have materials. I want to sit at the fire when it's my, turn to rest instead of sleeping. I want to make some potions. Okay, we'll roll on this chart. Oh, you rolled really well. Your potion will heal an extra 2d6. You can either give this potion to somebody or you can keep it. You want to repair your armor? We have that too. Do you want to find someone a patron to give you money to go on an expedition? We have a chart for that too. It's all this kind of stuff that I think the book is really cool. And everything I described to Jesse and Todd, they were very excited. So I know that's a quick pitch, but Christian, what do you think about that? Does that sound good?
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I mean...
That sounds that's going to make the battles a whole lot better.
Yeah, I mean, and again, they kind of synergized some stuff. And they rolled similar dice too. So it was just an example. It says here that our families are both adventurers, and we haven't heard from our families. Man, I wonder what that's like. And, when you're at the fire, you could be like, yeah, I haven't seen my parents in a year. I hope they're okay. Oh, me too. Yeah, my parents took to the road when I was 15, and I was raised by my uncle. It even has the size of your family. Like, oh, I have 12 relatives. I think Todd got like 10 or 12 relatives. So he's like, that's a big family. And then one of the things he rolled was like, we barely had enough money to scrape by. I'm like, well, that would make sense. There's 12 of you. So like, there isn't a lot of money flowing around. So I'm going to take you roll by roll. You said you got a piece of paper. We're going to do the custom roll on D&D Beyond. Because apparently, like you've told me, you can't be trusted with actual dice. So, but what it's going to do is there's some things we might skip because it's like race. You start, like this is something where they assume you sit down. I don't have an idea for a character. I'm just going to roll in these random charts. But since your character's been in it for a bit, there might be some things we skip. And what really helps is I've gone through this already with Jesse and Todd. Again, we did that in the background. I don't want to show too much. I don't want to show too much of the book. Go pick up this book. Again, I'm not sponsored, but everybody that I pitched this book to, I mean, it's only been 3 people, but they're very excited to use this book and stuff like that. It's on Drive-Thru RPG, and I'm sure other places. Cubicle 7 is the company, by the way. It's called A Life Well Lived. So we'll do this. We'll start out. The first thing, and we might skip this, is your lineage. Meaning, are you a dwarf, an elf, a human, dragonborn? Now, you've already done that. You're a human. If I remember right? I mean, it's a human. So we're going to skip that. But there's other things that are involved with your lineage. So we're going to go to the next thing because, again, we're doing this late in the game. The characters in our campaign are level 6. So if you're human... Now, this book adds certain things to your stats. And again, people would do this at level 1. And they would kind of add everything up. And add it at the end to whatever their bonus was. I don't care about that since we're doing this late and this is an experiment. Again, this is the tabletop experiment. I'm going to allow you to add this right now. So these are bonuses you're going to be able to put on your character right now. So I'm going to read these off to you. I have it on the stream. Again, I'm not showing the book, but I'll highlight it on the stream for you so you can see it. If you're a human, which you are, right? You are medium. You're ambitious, meaning you have 2 different attributes. You can 2 different attribute scores of your choice can increase by 1. So 2 of your attributes like strength, dexterity, charisma can be increased by 1. So again, write this on a piece of paper, and maybe after this we'll go through how to put it on your character sheet. But 2 of your abilities. Now, Christian, are you new at this? The sorcerer's main spellcasting feat is charisma. That's the thing you want to bump up to the moon. So I'd recommend maybe one of them being charisma, but you can go whatever you want. And the other one being whatever you want. Constitution helps with your health, obviously. Wisdom helps with some saving throws. Dexterity helps you with some saving throws, like fireballs. If someone throws a fireball at you, you have to make a dex saving throw, stuff like that. So I'll let you decide which 2 abilities do you want maybe to add to.
Let me think about that for a while.
Okay.
Let me think about that one. Because I got wisdom at 1. I would like to add it to that.
That does help with saving throws.
The lowest one I got.
Yeah, and you get 2 abilities. You get to add 1.
Could I grab both of them and add it to 1? Or does it have to be 2?
2 different abilities.
It has to be 2 different? I can't stack the points? Okay.
Yeah, that's just how this is. Again, this is an experiment. We're trying this book out. I mean, it sounds good, but let's see at the end if it's good.
I'll put 1 on wisdom and 1 in intelligence.
Okay.
That's what I'd do.
All right. And you gain proficiency in 1 skill. Meaning, if you're proficient in it, you add a dot on it on your character sheet, and you get to add your proficiency bonus to that skill. So maybe Arcana if you're not proficient in it, Stealth if you're not proficient in it. I'm trying to think of religion, animal handling.
Wait. So it has to have a little black dot next to it?
No. By
Okay.
gaining a proficiency, you add the dot. So
Ooh,
maybe it's something
okay.
you're not proficient in, where you're like, I want to be proficient in that.
That one's nice.
It is very nice.
That one's a nice
I
one.
mean, I don't know about you in stealth if you're proficient in that, but I mean, you do sneak.
That's the thing. I was just thinking about that because a Misty Step in my head. I'm like, if I make it that,
And then you sneak
Yeah,
up to
this-
somebody, then Misty Step
Yeah.
or something. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's-
a possibility. But like, I don't know. Are you proficient in Arcana? I'm not looking at your character sheet. I'm just looking.
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay.
I
so,
am.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, no, we're not.
Let's. I need to look at your character. I haven't.
I'm thinking investigation because I really do
That's
like.
good.
You know,
Perception is also good. You know, do I see if someone's gonna try to ambush us? You know, stuff like that. Do I see the trap about to be sprung where I'm gonna step on it? Stuff like that. I mean, what I'm looking here. Yeah, I mean perception.
Oh, just perception. Let's do that one.
Investigation. Okay, so
No,
now
perception.
okay, I probably spelled that wrong. I'm also taking notes too. So the next thing is, since we're skipping that, we're going to go to your origin, which is basically your astrological sign, just like in the, I don't know if you're familiar with that. Some people don't ever care about it their whole life, but like if you're a Scorpio, a Libra, a Sagittarius, they have a fantasy equivalent, but it will actually give you some bonuses. But you'll have to roll in a chart. So we'll do the game log so I can look at your thing. You need to roll a 1d12. So that's like a custom roll, 1d12.
We got a 9.
You are the Pegasus, which is the equivalent of a Sagittarius, which is what I am actually. Otherwise known as a compass. You get +1 to your charisma. That's amazing for you because you're a sorcerer.
Yeah. The equivalent to what?
It's basically a Sagittarius.
Wow, that's the sign I am right now.
Are you? I am also Sagittarius. December, baby. December.
November, baby boy, November.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, at the end of November, yeah. Okay. Your sign is that of the Pegasus, whose wings carry it free of bonds that bind so many other creatures. You are always on the lookout for new experiences, rarely looking back at what you've left behind. That sounds like a Sagittarius. So let's go to the next thing. Now, here's your parents. Now, here's the deal. You may think you know your parents, but here's the deal. Because you only gave me a couple lines of your backstory, are you raised by other humans or someone of a different lineage? Meaning, were you raised by dwarves? Were you raised by elves? That's what you roll this chart for. Can you roll a D100, which actually should be one of the custom dice on D&D Beyond?
34.
You were raised by the people of your same lineage, so you got to get really high to be outside your lineage. But there you go. So you're raised by the same lineage. I'm doing like cliff notes. Back in the day, my mom took a class in college called shorthand, which was a way to condense letters. And I asked her, I was like 10. I was like, has it ever come in handy? And she's like, never. So I don't know. I don't even know what it looks like. I wish I could write that way so everything would go faster. But apparently it doesn't help. So now we want to see how prosperous your characters were. Were they rich? Were they, paycheck to paycheck? Were they doing okay? Give me another D100 roll.
$71.
With enough to be comfortable. Which means you're like upper middle class.
Okay.
Oh.
And now 1d4.
Yeah, your upbringing. What'd you get?
4.
So your parents raised you with smothering attention.
Let's
They
run it.
just
I was an only child, bro. That's what that
they
means.
just well, that's about to be next, but they just smothered you. So
Another. Okay, here we go.
third, and then what else? What's the next one? Is
Here we
a
go.
D4, another D4.
Either way, I was the favorite.
An extended family. This is what. So now roll another 2d6. Do a custom roll, 2d6, and then we'll add 2 to it.
A 2d6.
Yeah, you should be able to like left click on the d6 and it'll add d6s. Or you could just do it again. 1. What's the other one? Because it's 2d6. So 5 plus 2. You had 7 other family members. Now this is your whole family. It could be your parents, uncles, cousins. 7 family members. All right. So you had a big family. So some of this you'll have to work on. Like think about like, man, I got 7. Did I just have a father? Did my mom die when I was young, and an aunt and a whatever? Anyway, you have to think of some combination. Now, this is your family bonds. How you interact with your family. Maybe some of them have been sent away. Give me a D20 roll. $20. Wow. Working for a powerful individual, perhaps an influential political figure, military. Here, I'll highlight it on the thing. Whoops, didn't highlight right. Working for a powerful individual, perhaps an influential political figure, military leader, or mage. See who pulls the strings for inspiration. Your family member is often busy, but always finds time for you. You have friends in high places, basically. Okay. Powerful individual. So the next thing is going to be your early childhood. What event happened in your early childhood to like, or first off, where you grew up. So give me a 1d10 roll on the dice. Oh, you were nomadic, meaning your parents moved around a lot. All right. You had a nomadic family. Let's go on the next one. Yeah, it is a 1d6. Let's go to... There is a separate chart for nomadic. You got a 1... Okay, children were expected to pull their weight, and you were not exempt from carrying heavy supplies while on the road. Your strength score is increased by 1.
I can increase it right now?
Yep.
Where exactly do I go to do that?
Oh, we'll do that. We'll do it after. We'll do it after we're done recording. This shouldn't take that long.
Okay.
We'll go to your
All
character
right.
sheet because there's like a modifications table and there's like extra mods and you can put like +1 plus whatever. So that's what happened. All right. So let's go. There's an event that happened when you were a teenager. So give me a 1d100 roll again on the thing again.
87.
Let's go. Let's see down here. When you found a rare trapped animal, you unraveled the intricate netting and foiled the trophy hunters planned. You are now proficient in sleight of hand. So
perception and now sleight of hand.
I'm writing it down. Sleight of hand proficiency. Okay. So now you're proficient in sleight of hand, which is great because you're not a rogue, but that comes in handy for everybody. All right, let's go to the next one. There was a lesson you learned in your life, an important moment that, like, maybe a relative told you or something like that. Give me a 1d12 roll on the dice.
6.
You saw a magic phenomenon, which they have a description of that. Someone close to you was affected by a magical phenomenon changing them forever. Now you have choices here. So you saw something magical, someone that you know. Did you, A, try to understand this arcane event? You get +1 to your intelligence. Wait. B, tell anyone who would listen about this magical transformation, +1 to your charisma. Or C, try to support the victim during this difficult time, +1 to wisdom. So do you want to help someone with wisdom, talk about it with the charisma, or understand what it was and get intelligence?
No, let's do wisdom because that brings it up to 3 now.
Okay, so +1 to wisdom.
That makes intelligence 3, wisdom 3,
Okay. So the next one,
strength 3. Ooh,
there was
you
a
coming up, you're
defining
moving
moment
up.
in your life. This didn't, this just happened kind of after adolescence, whatever, between whatever. Roll a d10 for me.
Nine.
9. Unexpected visitor. Okay. So I'm going to read. It says, unexpected visitor. Where'd it go? Occupations, either a charlatan, a vagabond, or a chef. A distant relative of yours visited one day to the horror and shame of your family. Todd got the same thing. He had an extended family. You got 12 people running around. You don't talk about Uncle Bill a lot, right? But one holiday or something, he shows up. Thought to be locked away from their crimes of poisoning the food of an important figure. This relative escaped and sought the familiar comforts of home, unaware of the hostility they face upon their return. Offering you to join them in their new lifestyle, you agreed. You leaned into their criminal history as a charlatan, a vagabond, or a chef. You learned of their dangerous past and the jobs they took as an undercover assassin, and they taught you their tools of the trade. You gained proficiency in brewer's supplies, a poisoner's kit, crossbows, or blowguns. I'll highlight it here on the...
I see it. That poisonous kit ain't that bad. Logan doesn't seem
Also,
that bad
just
either.
to shout out, hand crossbows for you would be pretty cool because if you run out of spells, you could pull out a crossbow and start shooting people. Just throwing that out there too. Or blowguns.
Let's do the hand crossbow.
Okay. All right. Next one. Oh man, there's a lot. Okay, so this is a quirk. Like, are you clumsy? Are you talkative? Are you funny? Give me a d20 roll. Wow. Sound sleeper.
Sounds about right.
I wish I could do that.
God, yeah,
Your
that's
uncanny
me.
ability to fall asleep on any surface guarantees a good night's sleep. You can take a long rest on any surface at any angle so long as you can remain reasonably still and unharmed, and you are fond of quick naps whenever possible. So that's more of a flavor thing, but like if there's difficult terrain and you guys are in the woods, I would even say like, hey, like write this down like, hey, it's raining and we don't have a lot of cover, but I have a sleeping bag. It's like, well, you're a sound sleeper, so even if water's hitting you in the forehead, you don't even you don't care. Okay, so your class you picked already, but I think you get a bonus. You get a +1 to your charisma already for being a sorcerer, so we'll just give you that.
Okay, so from 3 to 4.
The next one. What? Oh wait, hang on. I gotta look something up really quick. Sorry. Hey. Oh, sorry. So. Give me a D10.
9.
You've been preparing for adventure your whole life.
Yep. That works out.
Oops. Pen died for half a second. Okay. Starting funds. Let's see. Your income dice is based on your. Oh, here we go. Hang on. I would say, because this next part doesn't really. Let's see. So, do you want your occupation to be a charlatan, a vagabond, or a chef? Do you want to be, the faker? A vagabond would probably fit more because you people were nomadic. Your family was nomadic. I would say the vagabond would be more up your speed. So there's actually two choices. Do you want to be a charlatan, which is like a faker, whatever, a vagabond, or a chef?
Let's go with the vagabond.
Okay. You're a D4 as your income dice. So the next thing you have to roll, you did your call to adventure. So you're a sorcerer. So you have 15 gold. Give me a D4 roll.
Ooh.
2 times 15. I'm bad at math, but I think that's 30, right?
Yeah.
So you get to add 30 extra gold to your income, to your character sheet. I'll let you do that. So I'll just put 30 gold pieces. So this is good. The next part is the lie you tell yourself. What you have to tell yourself to wake up in the morning. Can you give me a D20 roll?
17.
Ooh. If I let them in, I deserve to be betrayed. So maybe you're a little bit secretive. Maybe you don't tell people, what you know. The next one is skeletons in your closet. Basically, if this gets out, I'm screwed. Can you give me a D6? 1D6?
2.
Oh. Roll on the family bonds table on page 11, which we've already done. Choosing an unexplored family member or creating a new one. You didn't tell their story often because the person has a good reason to hate you. Let's go to page 11. Well, close. Give me a D20 again.
3.
Oh, carrying on a family trade, which you are all too happy to discuss or write about. Sometimes share interesting gossip. So I would interpret that as, let me go back down here and read this again to make sure I'm reading this correctly. So, somebody that works a trade in your family is up to no good and they have done something bad. That's basically what that means. You don't talk about them because whatever they did in whatever trade, like say they were say they were a blacksmith, they made a sword for maybe a noble person, and you know a noble person, remember, in your background, it's part of your background. Maybe they made that sword, it may have failed in an opportune time, or the person they gave the sword to maybe murdered somebody and they blame your family for whatever reason. So that's what it is. So this is the next section is the tie that binds, like the idea that something happened, I have a connection. You got a D100? What do we got here?
20.
20, not high. Ooh. This is your group, if I remember right. Connection.
Actually, hold on. Give me 1 second. Someone's knocking on my door.
All right. You're good. Delivery? Was it a delivery?
Huh?
Was it a delivery? I had that happen today too when I was recording something and a delivery came.
No, someone came by.
So who in the group saw you? It says blank saw through my ruse, ruining my plans, and this is the group. Who in the group saw you do something that it ruined a plan?
Let's go with Grady. Grady.
O'Grady. What did O'Grady see? Were you well? To be fair, you have tried to loot weapons and armor early and stuff like that. Were you trying to pillage something that Grady caught you?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was somewhere where I wasn't supposed to. I'm trying to loot.
Okay. I wrote that down. So we're only going to do, the next one is just short-term goals, because I like this for your characters. So give me a D6 roll. Four. I want to practice control of my powers so I may forge a new technique or precise method of using them. So you want to like hone your sorcerer craft. Hone being sorcerer. So that's it. That's really it. There's like long-term goals, but I'm not going to make you roll that chart. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah. So I've written everything down. Do you want to go through your character right now? And we'll do that later. There's one other thing I want to do. Does that help you at all? Does it give you a better idea of? Remember, you have 12 family members you have to think of. So it's like even if you want to write down one or two names, because maybe you were young and some of them left, with adventuring, and you're like, was it Bill? He left when I was 2. I'm the youngest of 12 or 10. Like he was 20 and I was 4, and I remember visions of him. So maybe come up with some names of some relatives of like, here's my mom and dad, or maybe your parents died. I know a couple of cousins, and that's where it is. So, any questions before we go to the next part? Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream, and then you and I are going to talk a little bit, because I had some other stuff to talk to Jesse and Todd about. It's not bad. It's actually good stuff I want to plan, but I don't want to waste the good people's time. So we will stop recording, and then you and I will have a chat about some other stuff. So, yeah.